Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Man of the Hour magazine podcast. And I want to start this week talking about an article that we have on the site. It's called Top Cities for Young Professionals. And I wanted this article to be done for all you young professional males out there because after you've graduated from college, if you've just been laid off, or you're still looking for work, whatever the reason you may be seeking employment, maybe you want to leave your job and switch to another job. One of the things that I always think is important for us to look at is where do you want to live at? And where's the best place for young professional, in this case young professional men, to reside at where you have the best chances of getting into the industries that you want to get into and making the best of all those years you spent in college, working hard, studying, staying up late, not getting enough sleep in order to get that degree after you walked across the stage to go out and pursue your life's dreams or goals. So we came up with a list of the top 10 cities from 10 to 1 in the United States. And we kind of based the list off of things such as cost of living, access to nightlife, culture, being able to find places to reside at, good sources of transportation within those cities that we chose. Because in some cities that are on our list, it may be more feasible to have a car. In some cities on our list, the bus transportation or a subway or monorail train system may be a better form of transportation or a good option. And these are all the kind of things that we all need to know. For instance, if you live in New York City, you might take the subway everywhere. There's not a necessity to take a car. Maybe if you live out in more of the suburban areas such as Long Island, or you live over in Jersey, you may take the Long Island Railroad or the PATH train to make your way to the city. If you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, you're more than likely to take the BART train, or you may take the AC Transit, which is a bus system in the East Bay, or the Muni, which is a bus and a rail system in San Francisco. And so, wherever it is you may live at in the country, the different forms, modes of transportation, and access to get to the districts where your places of employment will be at. But in the case of the cities on our top 10 list, we wanted to make sure that we highlighted those forms of transportation for you so you have an idea. I think that in this economy, that if you don't have to have a car, don't have one unless it's for on the weekends. Like if you don't need to use it, don't. Save money. Especially when we're in the first 10 or so years of our career, we're generally not stepping out into a big six-figure income. And most often we are paying back college loans. And you know what a drag that can be, having to budget out your money to include that a lot of the amount of money that's going to go to paying back all the money you got loaned out of school just so you can get your education. So anyway, that's something you'll be very interested in checking out. And if you already live in a major city, your city may be on the list, so you may not have to move anywhere. Another thing I want to talk about that's been going on this week is in our Building the Home bar section. There we list the top 8 rums, or our selection of rums, for those of you out there who are liquor enthusiasts, to choose from. And our rums range in prices, so for any of you out there, whatever your price range is, I'm sure you'll be able to afford the rums on our list. And we also have a white sneaker for summer. This is something that's really important, I think, for people to check out. When it comes to style, summertime is the time where we pull out our white shoes, our white tennis shoes, white dress shoes, That's where we wear our white clothing. So in this section, Nick Romano, our style editor, is actually showing us 3 different styles of white summer sneakers that you could go out and purchase and will look good with most any of your casual wear. And finally, I just want to talk a little bit about the President Obama, BP. So the President made an address this week in regards to the situation with BP. I've written about that in this week's This Week in America section. And BP and their response. I'm very happy that BP has decided to set aside $20 million to deal with the crisis in the Gulf, especially dealing with the people whose jobs and whose businesses have been affected because of the oil spill. On the other hand, I'm equally as disturbed by a growing number of individuals in the Republican part of the electorate who have, and in this case, Mr. Joe Barton, Representative Joe Barton from Texas, who apologized to BP for having to pay for the crisis in which their oil rig, which broke, started. So anyway, check that out, and check out a lot more on the site, and I will see you next week.